Why sexual violence is about power, not desire. Whenever sexual violence is discussed, one sentence is often repeated. He couldn't control himself. But let's pause for a moment. Is sexual violence really about controllable desire, or it is something much deeper, like power and control? If we misunderstood the cause, we will never solve the problem. First, let's make something very clear. Sexual desire is natural. It's a normal human feeling. But sexual violence is a crime. That's why desire and violence are not the same thing. If sexual violence were simply about desire, then hearing no would stop it. In most cases of sexual violence, the person often ignores consent. They ignore fear, they ignore boundaries, and they ignore the other person's humanity. Why? Because the goal is not about connection, the goal is about power. Research and psychological studies show that such kind of criminals are motivated by dominance, the need to feel powerful over someone else. Sexual violence is often happens in such kind of conditions where there is already a power imbalance. Authority figures abusing their position. Stranger individuals target vulnerable people. Situations where someone uses fear to silence the victim. This is not this is not about attraction. It is about dominance. Another important truth. Sexual violence is used as a tool of humiliation and control, even in wars and conflicts. That alone shows it is not about pleasure, but about power and control. If it were about pleasure, why it would involve fear, force, or trauma? Desire seeks mutual connection, but power seeks control. Sexual violence removes consent entirely, and without consent, there is only a harm, no intimacy. So, what's the solution? What needs to be changed? First, we must stop excusing violence lack of as lack of control. Self control is a basic human nature. Second, we must educate consent. Consent must be clear, given freely, ongoing, and it should be without pressure. Third, we must teach respect and quality from an early age. Power does not mean dominance over someone else. And most importantly, we must stop blaming the victims. Clothing, time, and situations, none of these cause violence. The cause is a mindset that values control over respect. Sexual desire is human, but sexual violence is not a desire. It is about control, it is about power, and it is always a choice. And understanding this difference is the first step towards prevention. Desire seeks connection, and power without respect creates only harm. So keep alert.